speaker to you all, it's my privilege to introduce Mr. Sridhar Rajagopal. Sir is Head of Sales, Marketing, Strategy, Merger and Acquisition at Otis India. Sir has worked for over 10 years in Otis in variety of interesting roles. He has led M&A deals in India, Southeast Asia, and Japan. Prior to Otis, Sir has worked in building products, glass flaconnage, and in consulting industries. He is a graduate from BITS Pilani and a PhD holder from IIM Ahmedabad. He believes in a simple life motto, experience is everything. Put your hands together. And let's welcome Mr. Sridhar Rajagopal.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here once again. It's good to start a session without having to ask, am I visible and am I audible? So, very good to get out of the online world into this space here. Thanks a lot here. So I see that Indira has all Otis elevators everywhere. So I thank you all for the business and will talk to you as a customer today. And on top of that, you give me an award also. So I wish I have more customers like this across India. Yeah. See, I wanted to tell everybody out here that, we are trying to move from a 2.5 or 3 trillion economy to a 5 trillion economy, which means that the India that was created in the last 60, 70 years has to be recreated in the next 4 to 5 years. So the future is extraordinarily bright for everybody. Please do not listen to anybody who says that, you're going to get into trouble. Absolutely bright. The only thing you need to remember is this acronym called GOYA, G-O-Y-A, which means get out of your ass. The world, India is going to be created in the tier 2, 3 cities and in projects and in infrastructure. So anybody who is curious enough to go out and wants to step out of air-conditioned offices, there is unlimited work to be done. So very bright future for everyone. And a special shout out to all the girls and women out here. We are all, the corporate world in India is changing towards serious focus on gender diversity. So I'm pretty confident that next year, 80% of the placement from Indira will be driven by the women. And tough luck, guys, you have to compete twice as hard. So congratulations to all the women out here for making it here. Stay put, stay focused. The marks that you get doesn't matter. All that matters is that you connect with the corporate world, you connect with people, and keep pursuing what you want. It's happening right now. It's not something that's going to happen in the future. So I'm going to talk to you for the next 20 minutes on the topic that I gave Shefalin, and she kindly agreed to accept it for this forum and said people would be up to it. So it's called Holy Crap, the future of marketing is right here. And I will put this in context for you. As you all know, I sell elevators for a living. Otis worldwide has 2 million elevators working at this point, 2.1 million. And we move 2 billion people per day, which means a company like Otis, we move the population of the earth every week. That's the mass of people we are moving against gravity. And an elevator is like a driverless car, which is moving in the hoistway of every building, right? So that's the kind of business we are in. So we move the population of the earth every week. One data point for you. Another data point for you, the first elevator in India was installed at the Viceroy's house, which is today Raj Bhavan in Kolkata. We maintained that for the last 129 years. We still earn revenue from that elevator. So here's a product which moves the population of the earth every week, and we continue to own that hoistway and maintain it for generation after generation. Look at the kind of transparency, quality, and no shortcut approach that we have to take, because we have to face the customer for 129 years and beyond also. Second data point. Third data point, with all this grand presence, a given customer uses our product only for 1 minute. And all the customer experience that me as a marketing person has to create is in that 60 seconds. And this poem by Rudyard Kipling called If, I think he wrote it with an elevator person in mind. In between he says, if you can fill every unforgiven minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything in it. And I take that as a marketing principle for me, that I have this 1 minute only to create an impact on people and to help them travel. And we need to use that to create an impact. So as a marketing person, it's not about making advertisements and doing fancy stuff. It's serious business, like some of our friends have spoken about. And I will talk to you today about 4 things which we are working on. The first thing we have to understand is that the role of a marketing person is one of the most strategic in the company. And you would say, Tika, in a marketing forum, it's not great to make the statement, but look at it like this. You are the only person in the company who has the pulse of the customer. You're the only person in the company who has the pulse of the competitor. You're the only person in the company who decides the price of the product. And you're the only person in the company who looks at brand and brand building. If this is not strategic, what is strategic? Baki log kya karte hain, mujhe aaj tak nahi pata. All I know is that the key, most strategic role in the company is marketing, and it is the role of the marketing person to have this childlike enthusiasm and create a perspective and picture for others to see. The way I now articulate saying that Otis moves is the largest transportation company in the world. When we move, the Indian Railway moves half a million people per day. You know the size of Indian Railways. And we move 2 billion people per day. So giving a perspective for the whole organization to rally behind and move in a particular direction is the role of the marketing person, and it's strategic and operational at the same time. I'll talk to you about 4 things that we are working on right now and is going to shape the future of our company. The first one is called winning in all segments. And here, what I would like to say is that given the amount of data and technology we have today, you do not leave any segment aside. Some of my colleagues here will know earlier we used to have a concept called addressable market, which means, that the fox and the sour grapes theme. There are certain segments, they'll say, Acha, this is too low cost, too unorganized for me to participate in, especially the relatively arrogant multinational companies would talk like this. Ye to hamare bas ki baat nahi hai, we will not, it is for local companies to deal with. Not the case anymore. Last year, we launched a product in Otis called Gentoo Prime, which retails for 7 lakhs of rupees. Unheard of anywhere in the world. It's like a people elevator concept. Any building in the country today, we can put a Gentoo Prime elevator, which costs just about 7 lakhs. An average elevator will be no less than 14 lakhs of rupees. We are able to do that, but the key is to make sure that it is a highly profitable product. And how do we do that? See, we have the tallest building in the world is the Burj Khalifa, and it's an Otis elevator, a 10 meter per second elevator running out there. We make less money in the Burj Khalifa elevator than a 7 lakh elevator that we sell in a small town in India, 1 building, 1 lift. And that's the key. That's the power of a country like India, and that's the power of operating, what they say, making profit at the bottom of the pyramid. It's true, and it can happen. And it will happen because of 2-3 things. The first thing is that you create a product for that segment. The complete nonsense that some people can tell you is that you take a normal product and defrill it, make it low specification to meet the requirement of a particular segment. It doesn't work that way. If you truly want to penetrate a segment, if you truly want to get to a particular customer base, you have to go to the whiteboard and design a product specifically for that building and for that customer. And then your journey of winning in all segments starts. So as a marketing person today, I am present in a 1 building, 1 unit in Khammam district, in APTS, and we are in Burj Khalifa. Statue of Unity has got an Otis elevator. It's the only statue in the world with an elevator running inside it, by the way. One in the right leg or the left leg of Patelji. So we operate in all these segments, infrastructure, so I'm not going to leave any segment alone. So the job of the marketing person is very complex now, because you have to construct a different business model for each one of these areas. You cannot go to a metro station and have the same business model as a Gentoo Prime which you are selling at 7 lakhs of rupees. So that's the first thing which makes the marketing job absolutely interesting today, is that you work to win in all the segments. The second thing that we are working on is called marketing-led sales. Pehle kya hota tha, there used to be a sales department with their own way to work, and there's a marketing department which is supposed to be the brain, think about the product price. It is now shifting. Today, my team gets all the inquiries through digital marketing, through various property databases and others, and we curate it in our back office in Bangalore and fill the CRM with all the inquiries. We do not have any more requirement for a salesperson to do a cold call to find out which building is going to come and what is the elevator requirement. All the inquiries are controlled by the marketing team. We put it up in CRM and we direct the sales team as to किस customer को मिलना है ये हफ्ता and कौन सा project close करना है. It is complete, and the salesperson's time is spent more on customer-facing value add than sitting in office and looking through inquiries and what to do. So this is marketing-led sales, where the marketing team, I have the responsibility of the sales numbers. आज month close करना है. After an hour, my phone will start ringing, and we need to make sure that we sold about 300 lifts till yesterday. I have to sell another 500 lifts on the last day, which is always the way it works. So I have to close the sales also, but I head the marketing also. So that's what is the point number 2 that makes marketing extremely interesting, is that marketing will now run sales also. The third aspect is e-commerce. I will not glorify it. The tools are available, so the e-commerce itself is not fascinating. My team in India is the first team that set up an e-commerce platform for selling elevators. And anywhere in the world, across any elevator company. And it's complicated because you can imagine the elevator is made to order for a hoistway. It's not an off-the-shelf product. In fact, an elevator is a product in which the assembly is shifted to the hoistway. We just don't assemble in the factory. We make about 500 boxes which come to the site, and then it's assembled, and only when it's installed in the site, the customer sees an elevator in the first place. So it's a product whose assembly itself is shifted out. So there are like 500 different variables that one needs to take care of. So how do you set up an e-commerce platform for somebody? Please go to otis.com and experience that site and see. So we spent 6 months uncluttering our head and unlearning the whole thing. Because put a team of 6 engineers and everybody, you get the most complex of output. But setting up an e-commerce platform is the most humbling experience, because you need to visualize how the person in front is going to navigate the site, how to make it simple for the person, how you do not put like 200 different engineering dimensions into the website and make it very simple. So it's a great experience to work in setting up an e-commerce platform for a particular product, because completely औकात पे आ जाएंगे सब लोग. Because then all your gibberish technical knowledge and all the company worth has no meaning. You need to sit and visualize how the user is going to navigate the website and how the user is going to actually place an order and buy when you're not sitting face to face in front of the person. And I'm launching an e-commerce platform, putting the price on it in an industry where everything is negotiated face to face. There is no MRP in elevator. Every product is sold with a separate price. So we were the first team to have the guts to put up a price wherein all my competitors are having face-to-face negotiation and always can go and say, Otis ka price is this, I can give you 10% cheaper. They can do that. But we took the guts to do it because our customer does not have the time for this negotiation nonsense anymore. We are selling about 100 lifts per month through the e-commerce platform now. And it's a record worldwide. Our global president has gone to, in all the meetings, she says, that in India we are selling elevator on an e-commerce platform. And it's done by normal people like in the company who just set our minds to, okay, let's do this and see how it happens. And it's mobile first. People across the country are using the mobile to buy an elevator today, which nobody could have imagined. All we did was, and we spent $100,000 in doing it, that's all. Very simple project to get it done. So the third interesting aspect of marketing is e-commerce. And the fourth aspect is that today all our products are getting connected. Our friend here spoke about the ice cream getting connected. I will speak about something far more serious than Coke and ice cream, in the sense that it's a highly engineered product that moves people against gravity, right? So the elevator is an automatic car moving in the hoistway, which means the controller in the machine room knows everything about the elevator because there's no human interface going on, right? So now if we can put a PCB reader on the controller, put a SIM card, normal GSM SIM card, the entire controller information can come to a central room in our head office. So imagine like a NASA screen out there with 200 screens, and I can see the performance every floor that the elevator is moving across the country at the same time. Immediately I can see, and when an elevator stops working, we have a flash going. So my person will reach the site before the customer even realizes that the elevator has gone down. That's the power of IoT. So with IoT now, service product sale is one thing, and we know that increasingly product margins are declining rapidly. So the money and the butter and cream is everything is in service. So the moment you put in IoT related elements in the elevator, you can offer a wide variety of services to customer which was unheard of in the past. So we are now getting into a zone where software is something we have to sell. I mean, my team has always sold elevators. Now they have to go and sell a subscription to a customer to say that, listen, we are going to put an IoT device in your elevator. Your elevator will be working 99% of the time. Before you know it's down, my team will come and fix it. And if somebody is trapped in it, I can remotely open the elevator to let the person out. Look at the power of the solution we can give. But the problem with digital, which nobody tells openly in any forum, is that no customer pays for it. Show me someone who's able to charge. You saw the Maruti ads last few days. They took over the newspapers, right, with some digital jing bang that they have. Who's going to pay for it? It's coming free. So my team is tasked with the job of, boss, you got to go and sell it. Let the customer see the value behind it. You sell a subscription for a digital service that we are offering. So look at what the marketing person is doing today, my team. So we are selling a product, the elevator, following the 5 Ps of marketing that you would say. We are selling service, which is an annual maintenance contract and repair and modernization, where you follow the service marketing principles. We are selling a platform of e-commerce, where the rules are still getting defined. And we are also selling a software and an IoT solution on a subscription basis. All 4 happening at the same time. And why and how is this happening? It's happening because, I would put it very simply, holy crap, the future of marketing is right here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yours is such a niche B2B segment, B2B business. So most of us were not really aware of how things work in an organization such as yours. So thank you so much for sharing those stories. Understanding the power of having an e-commerce platform was wonderful, especially in the kind of area that you are into. So guys, we are running behind the schedule. So due to paucity of time, we'll be able to take just one question. So anybody who has a question, whoever I notice first, that person gets a chance. Okay, so we have somebody right there behind. Could you please pass on the mic to him, please?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to everyone. Sir, I'm having question regarding the technicians used in for building the elevators. Sir, do we require outsourcing for the building elevators in some buildings or some firms, companies?
Okay, I'm just going to rephrase your question. So you're saying that do we outsource the construction
Yes, sir. Yes.
and the service of the elevator?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there are 2 parts to this. One is the elevator is a high safety item. So a typical elevator weighs 1.5 elephants, okay? So an inexperienced person tries to do anything in the hoistway is going to be dead. So we need highly trained people, and only qualified people can install and access the elevator. So we have all the servicing is done in-house. You cannot outsource that because it's a huge safety area. From an installation standpoint, there are a lot of mechanical work to be done, like installation of the rails and brackets, the rails on which the elevator runs, where we have partners, qualified partners as subcontractors who work with us, but highly qualified and trained, and have to clear certain exams and passes before they step in, because it's a very dangerous place.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your address. Our next speaker is Mr. Mukul Vashne, Director, Corporate Affairs, John Deere. Sir is Director, Corporate Affairs, Media, PR, and Communications, overlooking the responsibility for John Deere in India, Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Asia Pacific. In this role, sir is responsible for leading corporate relations, including government affairs at the national and state levels. More recently, during COVID times, Sir's recommendation on agriculture reforms got noticed by the central and state level government, strongly advocating and promoting equality for women in agriculture mechanization is another area that Sir is spearheading at his organization. Round of applause for Mr. Mukul Vashne. Over to you, sir.
Namaste. You know, I come from a field which is Krishi, agriculture related. But before that, the management of Indira Institute and my colleagues from the industry, it was great to meet you and also learn what's happening. We do learn in our books, but it was very nice to see it as we heard all of you today. तो मैं कृषि क्षेत्र से आता हूँ. Is it okay if I speak a little bit of Hindi? I'm sure everybody understands that. क्योंकि मैं किसानों के बीच में रहता हूँ, तो अक्सर हिंदी में बात करने का मौका मिलता है मुझे. तो कृषि एक ऐसा क्षेत्र है जहाँ पे हमेशा ये तस्वीर सामने आती है हिंदुस्तान की. बेचारा किसान, गरीब किसान, घर में एक गाय बंधी है, खाना खाने के लिए मुश्किल हो रही है, चूल्हा जल रहा है. वास्तविक परिस्थिति में ज़्यादातर किसान वैसे ही हैं, लेकिन हम लोग का लगातार प्रयास ये है कि उनके जीवन में बदलाव कैसे लाया जाए. मैं कुछ आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करूंगा थ्रू ए पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन. By the same time, as I just said when I was being recognized here, that it's very important to have a purpose in life. And I think as John Deere, we are now a 187-year-old organization, one of the most oldest organization on the planet, and still continue to do and lead the world with technology and also by revenues, both. How do we do it? So हम लोग का जो मकसद है या जो purpose है, that remains very, very strongly, and as employees, we are hardwired to that purpose. Now, the purpose that we had till about a few years ago was committed to those linked to the land, but on 3rd December 2021, we rephrased and came out with a different purpose called We Run So Life Can Leap Forward. मतलब हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे से जितने भी लोग जुड़े हैं, जो खाना खाते हैं, जो कपड़ा पहनते हैं या जो घरों में रहते हैं, उनकी ज़िंदगी में कुछ ना कुछ इम्पैक्ट कर सकें. मैं आपको एक तस्वीर दिखाना चाहता हूं बिफोर आई गो. ये मेरे को बहुत अच्छी तस्वीर लगती है और मैं जानता हूं कि इसमें से 2 लोग को आप पहचान पाएंगे, बाकी 2 लोग को नहीं पहचान पाएंगे. क्या मैं आपसे सवाल कर सकता हूं? Does anybody recognize who are here on this picture? So somebody said Shankar Dayal Sharma, Lal Bahadur Shastri. मैं आपको बताऊं कि आज से कई साल पहले, and this is when Lal Bahadur Shastri ji was the Prime Minister of this country, we were passing through an दौर. वो एक वक्त था जब भूखमरी बहुत बड़ी समस्या थी हिंदुस्तान के लिए. हम ना तो गेहूं बना पाते थे, उगा पाते थे उतना, ना चावल, बाकी पल्सेस काफ़ी दिक्कत में थी. ये 4 लोग इकट्ठे हुए और आज अगर हम बेक ऑफ यहाँ पे बैठे हैं कि घर में दोपहर का खाना बन गया होगा या हम शाम को जब घर जाएंगे या इंदिरा इंस्टीट्यूट लंच में एक बेहतर खाना खिलाएगा, वो इसीलिए बिकॉज द ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया हैपेंड एट दैट टाइम. देयर आर 3 पीपल, ऑफ कोर्स वी नो लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी, Mr. C. Subramaniam, he was the agriculture minister that time, and then there was one Mr. B. Shivaraman, he was the agriculture secretary, and of course we all know Mr. M.S. Swaminathan. हिंदुस्तान सरकार ने मना कर दिया था कि यहाँ पे कोई भी बाहर से वैरायटी लाके ट्रायल नहीं किया जाएगा. सी सुब्रमण्यम साहब गए, he brought the high yield variety from Mexico and he planted that behind his house. पूरा उनका खूबसूरत बगीचा था, घास थी, फूल थे. उन्होंने कहा नहीं, मेरे को देश के लिए कुछ करना है. I have a purpose and that purpose is how can I make India rich or how can I impact the food security of the country. उन्होंने जब वो किया और उसके बाद उन्होंने जब भारत सरकार को बताया कि देखिए हाई यील्ड वैरायटी है, इससे भूखमरी मिटेगी, वो दिन है और आज का दिन है, वी आर food surplus, at least in two commodities, which is wheat and rice. We have a national stock, which is about 1.5 times what we need. Are you okay? You okay? What we need annually. Another thing, हम लोग अक्सर ताजमहल में जाते हैं, देखते हैं, खूबसूरती की बात करते हैं, और हम उसका पर्पस याद रखते हैं कि वो एक मिसाल है, एक मोहब्बत की मिसाल है. It's a testimony to the love that the king had for his wife. पर मैं आपसे पूछ सकता हूँ, क्या कोई जानता है कि ये ताजमहल किसने बनाया था? शाहजहां? किसी और, कोई और कुछ कहना चाहता है? लेबर. हाँ, मेरा घर भी लेबर ने बनाया, लेकिन आप हाथ उठा रहे हैं, कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? You said laborers? Yeah, of course, laborers will do it. लेकिन किसने बनाया था? शाहजहां. उसने बनवाया था या बनाया था? बनवाया था. Okay. The thing is, the point that I want to bring here is कि ताजमहल जैसी खूबसूरत बिल्डिंग रेप्लिकेट की जा सकती है, लेकिन जिस मकसद से ताजमहल बनाया गया है वो कभी रेप्लिकेट नहीं किया जा सकता. The purpose behind this, and again I want to say, if you have a very strong purpose, you actually can create an impact. Otherwise, you can get replicated and somebody else can do it better. Similar thing is this little thing that you see here, the plow. बहुत साल पहले घोड़े से खेती होती थी और अक्सर ब्लैक कॉटन सॉइल पीछे प्लाव में चिपक जाता था. The farmer had to bend every time, scrape it, and then do it. And the moment there was more moisture on the soil, the more difficulty he had to plow the land. This plow was built the first time with a steel bottom, which was called a self-scouring plow, where the soil would not stick. So the purpose was, how can I add convenience to the life of a farmer? Going forward, brands बढ़ रहे हैं. ये कुछ साल पहले थी, आज और ब्रांड्स आ गए हैं. आप सब लोग को शायद जान के खुशी होगी कि गए साल में भारत केवल in India, there were more than 20,000 startups, out of which there were 12,000 startups in agriculture space only. So there will be a brand that will take birth every day. There will be multiple brands, and we will see host of brands. The things will get so confusing. But the ones that have a strong commitment, ones that have a strong purpose, only will remain, and one such brand is this. Now, to keep that flag up, it's not just that you build a brand, you're 187, or you have the technology. There's a lot that goes underneath, and those things are, as somebody said, product quality. हम ओटिस की बात कर रहे थे, हम उसके पहले प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल की बात कर रहे थे, हम हिंदुस्तान लीवर में पीके साहब को सुन रहे थे. Everybody said product quality is very, very important. If you don't have the quality, you don't survive, because the competition. And of course, communications and how the channel is, how do you have your signs and things like that matter. And this is what I was trying to share here. Now here's the real story that I want to share. हिंदुस्तान में हमको आए 25 वर्ष हो गए. And I'm first employed to join this company from 25 years. There are a lot of people who came, who went, but I stuck to this because I thought my engineering, I'm an agriculture engineer, and then I went to IIM Bangalore to do my master's there. मेरा मकसद जिंदगी का है कि अगर if I have been able to impact farmers' life, because I am an agriculture engineer, I think I've lived my life successfully. And that's why I've stuck to this company for 25 years since they have come to India. This is the story of two farmers. ये जो ऊपर के दो farmer हैं जो आप देख रहे हैं, ये हमारे से connect में आए थे, and they are from Maharashtra. I got in touch with them way back in 2002. When our president was retiring, we had invited these two people to come and share their experience. And this was about in 2007, sorry, in 2011, when they had come here, so about 10 years or maybe 8 years after their association with John Deere. What they are telling in Marathi here, ki they were farmers who had a cycle with them and lived in a remote village. In 10 years, they have made such a progress, and they wanted to thank and acknowledge the best quality product that they received, the best services they received, the best advisory that they received from a company like John Deere. Today, they have a house in Pune, their children go to English medium school, they eat better, and they have a car to go to the village and come back. That's transformation. That's the purpose I'm talking about. कि मेरा मकसद ये नहीं है कि मैं ज़्यादा मशीन बना के बेचूं, लेकिन मेरा मकसद बहुत क्लियरली है कि मैं जिसको भी बेचूं, उसकी ज़िंदगी में बदलाव होना चाहिए. नीचे आप एक तस्वीर देखेंगे, एक शख्स कुर्सी पे बैठा है और चारों तरफ लोग चारपाई पे बैठे हैं. Can you guess who's the person on the chair and who's on the charpais all around? Any guesses? So I'll just tell you because we are running short of time. चारपाई पे बैठे हैं मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर जॉन डियर के, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट जॉन डियर के, और जो कस्टमर हमारा है वो कुर्सी पे बैठा है. इसको कहते हैं सम्मानित करना. And not only the best quality product that you want to give to the customer, but if he's your user, because of him, you are running your business, you have to give that respect to him. This farmer I know very well because I appointed him in 2000 as a salesman to represent John Deere in Ujjain. I don't know if anybody is here from Indore, Ujjain area, या मध्य प्रदेश से. It's a very famous geography. Oh, I can see a few hands go up. तो उज्जैन में मैंने संजय पटेल को एक सेल्समैन बनाया था. उसने काफ़ी ट्रैक्टर बेचे, लेकिन एक दिन वो मेरे पास आया, कहता साहब मैं रिज़ाइन करना चाहता हूँ. मेरे को लगा कि शायद हमारे काम करने के तरीके में कोई खराबी हो या कोई कमी रह गई हो जिस वजह से रिज़ाइन करना चाहता है. बट ही सेड कि अगर मेरे को इस मिशन को आगे ले जाना है तो मेरे को उसका उपभोक्ता होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू बाय अ ट्रैक्टर माई सेल्फ, run this on the farm, and I can be an example to other farmers in that geography why the mission and vision of John Deere is transformatory in nature. Today, he practices agriculture over 1,000 acres of land, has 4 John Deere tractors with him. Similarly, when we talk about the society, I want to show this picture of a little girl. I met her in 2005. She was a little girl that time. She's grown up. I met her just before in 2019, before the COVID started. तो ये छोटी सी लड़की इकोनॉमिक कारण से पढ़ाई नहीं कर पा रही थी. And John Deere leadership ने सोचा कि she is sharp, she has that purpose in life, and how can we give wings to that? We sponsored her education. And at that time, I remember, मैंने कहा बेटा ज़िंदगी में क्या बनना चाहती हो? She said, मैं ईमानदार पुलिस ऑफिसर बनना चाहती हूँ. And I think that was a very powerful statement she made. पुलिस ऑफिसर तो बहुत लोग बनना चाहते हैं, लेकिन अगर उसमें ईमानदारी झलक जाए तो शायद उसका मकसद और भारी हो गया था. And that's why we became very committed to her well-being. She speaks very fluent English today. And I wish if you all go to Rajasthan, there's a place called Rail Magra and 3 villages adjacent to Rail Magra. Anybody from Udaipur or Rajasthan belt here? So there's 3 villages called Sakrawaz, Mara and Madara. She is from Mara village. And similarly, this lady Sita, she wanted to be a lawyer all through her life. उसी गांव से है ये, लेकिन entrepreneur ability थी बहुत. उसकी एक चाय वाले के साथ शादी हुई थी जो बस स्टैंड पे चाय बेचता था. We identified this woman and we supported her. Today she does high value crop. High value crop शायद आप लोग बहुत कम लोग जानते होंगे. हम लोगों ने जब हम जाते हैं डी मार्ट या कोई, तो उसमें अलग अलग किस्म की बेल पेपर्स दिखती हैं, कुछ ऑरेंज कलर की, कुछ येलो कलर की. हरी वाली तो सब खाते हैं घर में, जो बच्चों को या हम सब लोग को बहुत पसंद नहीं आती क्योंकि लेकिन बेल पेपर्स को एक शेप में काट के थोड़ी सी ड्रेसिंग करके we think it's really nice, and that's called high value crop. She's doing that, and she's become a leading lady in that area for transforming from a conventional agriculture to a modern agriculture, and a lot of women in that villages are following her. I'll show you a film. We were talking about how to serve the customer better. मैं Otis elevator की बात समझ रहा था कि how they go. जॉन डियर की एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फिलॉसफी है, बिफोर वी लॉन्च ए प्रोडक्ट इन द मार्केट हम बहुत डीप कस्टमर अंडरस्टैंडिंग करते हैं, और अगर उस प्रोडक्ट में वैल्यू नहीं है सो इट विल नेवर कम टू द मार्केट रिगार्डलेस ऑफ द अमाउंट ऑफ रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट मनी दैट वी वुड हैव स्पेंट. एंड आई एम श्योर सम ऑफ यू वुड नॉट नो दिस फैक्ट. वी स्पेंड क्लोज टू 14 crore rupees every single day on R&D. That's the highest and by far the largest spend by any organization. And the reason we want to do it, we want to bring the technology and we want to bring the reliability and durability to the farmer. कि अगर वो एक बार जॉन डियर खरीदे तो somewhere we were talking about repeat purchase. You know, I think you talked about, Mr. PK, about the repeat purchase. So that's if you cannot retain your own customer and inspire other customers to come and buy your product, and which is going to impact their life, our purpose has no meaning. So I'll show you 2 small videos, about 50 seconds each, and that will give you a little message as to how and why किसान के जिंदगी का बेस्ट डिसीजन जॉन डियर के साथ हो सकता है.
और सुबह होने से पहले हमने टाइगर हिल पे तिरंगा फहरा ही दिया.
चाचा, आपको इन खतरों से डर नहीं लगता?
मुन्ना, खतरों से बड़ा होता है हमारा विश्वास, जो हम पाते हैं भरोसेमंद टेक्नोलॉजी से.
भैया, टेक्नोलॉजी तो हमारा भी विश्वास बढ़ाती है, तभी तो हम धरती से सोना उगाते हैं.
जब मन में हो विश्वास तो मेरे जवान और किसान दोनों होंगे कामयाब.
जॉन डियर, टेक्नोलॉजी का वरदान, नए भारत की शान.
This is the message that we give to our customers, कि future is technology. And again, I'll go back to you. You said the era was product, now the era is technology. I also want to share, many of you would think कि यार ये जॉन डियर किसानों के लिए काम करती है और बड़ा बेसिक सा प्रोडक्ट है. आप में से कितने किसान बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं मैं नहीं जानता. अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई डोंट कम. मैं इलाहाबाद में पैदा हुआ. मेरे फादर वॉज द डीन ऑफ इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी. उन्होंने मुझे मना किया. मैं शेफ़ बनना चाहता था, एक होटल में काम करना चाहता था, लेकिन बोले बेटा अगर शेफ़ बन गए तो शादी नहीं होगी. तो उन्होंने इंजीनियर बनाया, और मेरे ख्याल से वो अच्छा था डिसीजन, क्योंकि आई हैव गॉट ए ग्रेट वाइफ. शी वर्क्स इन दिल्ली पब्लिक स्कूल इन पुणे, और वो नहीं मिलती अगर मैं शेफ़ बन गया होता, शायद, ऐसा मैं सोचता हूँ. एक सोचिए, टेक्नोलॉजी अगर आपके पास हो, आपके पास एक ट्रैक्टर है और हिंदुस्तान में चल रहा है, और आप अमेरिका में छुट्टियों पे जा रहे हैं, एंड यू गेट अ लाइव फीड कि क्या ड्राइवर आपका ट्रैक्टर चला रहा है, कितनी तेज़ी से चला रहा है, इंजन की आरपीएम कितनी है, इंजन कितना गर्म हो रहा है, कितना फ्यूल कंज्यूम हो रहा है. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं ड्राइवर आपको कहे कि जी मैं काम पे जा रहा हूँ, पेड़ के नीचे सो जाए या डीजल चुरा ले. ये बहुत कॉमन प्रैक्टिसेस हैं. लाइव फीड अगर आपको मिलती रहे तो उससे अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी क्या हो सकती है. जॉन डियर हैज़ लॉन्च्ड दैट इन इंडिया ऑलरेडी, and many farmers are taking advantage of that. We call it telematics, and you get on your smartphone pal pal ki khabar. I'm not the news guy, but you get the pal pal ki khabar of the machine that you have bought. So I'll show you another little clip, because ये clip हमने इसलिए बनाई थी क्योंकि competition ने क्या किया था कि मार्केट में खबर उड़ा दी थी कि भाई साहब आप अमेरिकन ट्रैक्टर तो खरीद रहे हैं, लेकिन उसका मेंटेनेंस नहीं हो पाएगा और वो चलेगा भी नहीं. So this is what we created another little.
अरे आओ भाई, बहुत दिनों बाद आए हो.
और भैया कैसा चल रहा है अपना नया जॉन डियर ट्रैक्टर?
बढ़िया है.
और सर्विसिंग के लिए कहाँ ले जाते हैं? अरे भैया यहाँ तो हर तरफ जॉन डियर ही नजर आ रहा है। पर पार्ट्स
वैसे तो जॉन डियर के पार्ट्स बदलने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती और आसानी से मिल भी जाते हैं,
वो भी किफायती दामों पर।
वाकई चिंता मुक्त।
जॉन डियर, सुविधा हर कदम, दाम फिर भी कम।
So we came with this campaign and we circulated it on WhatsApp to all our customers कि तू जहाँ जहाँ रहेगा मेरा साया साथ रहेगा. And that was कि this is our commitment to our customers in terms of protecting their machine, keeping an eye on their machine and ensuring that the service engineer reaches them at the time that they need. वैसे तो ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है, लेकिन खुदा ना खास्ता कभी ज़रूरत पड़ेगी तो जहाँ जहाँ तू रहेगा मेरा साया साथ में रहेगा. And finally, I want to close this with a slide, is that if you have to make everything count, you have to have unprecedented levels of commitment. And that's what we have. And also the unprecedented level of advanced technology. हम किसान को ये बोलते हैं कि आपने अगर 1 किलो बीज खरीदा है, तो आपके हर सीड को हम जर्मिनेट कराने के लिए वचनबद्ध हैं. We will make every seed count. 2, अगर आप वाटर, अब पूरे देश में, पूरे दुनिया में पानी की बहुत बड़ी समस्या है. फ्रेश वाटर खेत में इस्तेमाल होता है, शहरों में पानी कभी 2 घंटे आता है, कभी 3 घंटे आता है. बाय द वे, आई वांट टू शेयर 70% of the fresh water is used in farms. Imagine if we are using the water very economically over there, how much surplus water can be brought to the cities for human and animal consumption. But we make a promise, we will make every drop count. And when the grain is produced, it will have a quality that हर दाना आपका बिकेगा और हर दाने से आपको अच्छा मुनाफा भी होगा. This is our promise. And I want to share, we have the technology today, which we are working with the Ministry of Electronics and Telecommunications. And if somebody is very interested in IT, ITES, and these kind of areas can just, join us, and we'll be happy to use that talent. उसमें ये होता है कि मशीन खुद किसान को बताती है, ओ भाई साहब यहाँ पे बीज नहीं गिर पाया, आप रिकरेक्ट करिए. So we can sow every inch of the land at the distance. मशीन खुद किसान को बताती है, ओ भैया पानी भूल गए आप यहाँ पे देना, या यहाँ पे पानी देने की आवश्यकता नहीं है क्योंकि पानी ज़मीन में बहुत नमी है, तो farmer can save. And same thing he says, well, we see a lot of nutrition here, we see a lot of nitrogen here, so don't spray nitrogen because that's waste, it'll be an overdose. हम soil की deteriorating conditions की बात समझते हैं. So we have that technology and we have given it to the farmers world over. We are working on a little lower version of that for India. And then finally, when you are harvesting, the machine senses it and says, if this is the best in the world, you can send it by a brand that you want to do. So these kind of technologies are available. We are working on it. But I want to say कि unprecedented levels की अगर हम बात करें, ये केवल मशीनों से या कंपनियों से उम्मीद नहीं करनी चाहिए, ये हमारे भी कमिटमेंट होने चाहिए कि अगर हम खुद में वो जज्बा या वो कमिटमेंट नहीं लाएंगे, तो कल को दुनिया में बहुत सारे लोग हैं, आप अपने आप की पहचान नहीं बना पाएंगे. अगर पहचान बनानी है, तो आपको अपनी ज़िंदगी का मकसद अभी लिखना होगा और अभी से उस पर काम करना होगा, ताकि भीड़ में आपका चेहरा अलग से नज़र आए. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, बिफोर आई लीव, मुझे राज कपूर साहब की फिल्म का एक गाना हमेशा याद आता है और बहुत प्रोत्साहित करता है. कैन एनीबडी गेस? यू आर वेरी क्लोज टू दैट मैम, बट जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ भी है. लेकिन एक और गाना है, किसी का दर्द ले सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते तेरे दिल में हो प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है. दोस्तों, ये रंजिश नहीं चलेगी कभी भी. प्यार मोहब्बत से एक दूसरे की मदद कीजिए, देखिए ज़िंदगी कितनी खूबसूरत है. विद दैट आई थैंक यू ऑल एंड बेस्ट विशेस. थैंक यू. गॉड ब्लेस यू.
Thank you so much, sir. for the message towards the end of your session and for also sharing the wonderful stories with us. हम में से अधिकतर लोगों ने ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के बारे में किताबों में ही पढ़ा है. You have brought the whole experience come alive. Thank you so much. Just one question. Okay. Him. Mic, please. Try being loud enough.
And if anybody has questions, I see quite a few hands. Bali Saab, I request you to send all those to me.
We'll get them emailed to you, sir.
And I don't mind sharing my number in case if students are genuinely interested to know more. I would like to have a session with them whenever it's convenient.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Amol Suryavanshi. As in the financial year 2022, in the budget session by Nirmala Sitharaman, it was been mentioned that 19,000 crore rupees has been given to the agriculture sector. And she has been mentioned that the drone system will be implemented for the farmers. So what's your take on that what's the John Deere is going to take for the farmers and how they are going to implement the new era of the digitalizations for the farmer? So what's your take on that?
Okay. तो देखो इस समय मैं आपको बताऊं कि बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं, चाहे ऑटोमोबाइल हो या फूड प्रोसेसिंग की हो या प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल, या बड़ा व्यवस्थित है. एवरीथिंग इज़ वेल डिफाइंड. अनफॉर्चुनेटली एग्रीकल्चर में डिफाइंड नहीं है, लेकिन एग्रीकल्चर भी एक प्रोफेशनल इंडस्ट्री के जैसे है. देयर इज़ अ सप्लाई चेन, देयर इज़ अ प्लानिंग. एवरीथिंग इज़ जस्ट लाइक एनी प्रोफेशनली रन इंडस्ट्री, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दैट इज And that's what we call the value chain of production system. कि ज़मीन को कब पलटना है, ज़मीन को कब पल्वराइज करना है, ज़मीन में मेड़ कब बनानी है, ज़मीन में बीज कब डालना है, ज़मीन में पानी कब देना है, ज़मीन में न्यूट्रिशन कब देना है, ज़मीन या प्लांट्स को एंटी फंगल या हर्बिसाइड्स कब डालना है, कब उसको पैदा को चेक करना है, कब उसको हार्वेस्ट करना है और रेसिड्यू को कब. इट्स लाइक एन इंडस्ट्री. Drones is going to help the manufacturers like us by streamlining all this thing. It'll help the farmers to do more predictable agriculture. हम लोग IoT की बात कर रहे थे, मेरे ख्याल से आपने बात की थी IoT की ओटिस एलिवेटर में जब हम रिपेयर की बात कर रहे थे. ये सारी चीज़ें अब कृषि के क्षेत्र में बहुत तेज़ी से आ रही हैं. बजट के साथ साथ उन्होंने एग्री टेक पे भी काफ़ी जोर दिया है. मेरे ख्याल से आने वाले समय में किसान को हिंदुस्तान में प्रिसीजन सॉल्यूशंस मिलेंगे, टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस मिलेंगे, प्रिडिक्टेबिलिटी बेहतर होगी. आज वॉलेटिलिटी में है, बरसात ज़्यादा हो गई, खेत में नुकसान, तेज़ धूप निकल गई, पौधे खराब हो गए, नकली बीज चला गया, वो खराब हो गया, फर्टिलाइज़र ज़्यादा डाल दिया तो खराब हो गया, फर्टिलाइज़र नहीं डाला समय पे तो खराब हो गया. तो फ्रॉम एन अनसर्टेन वॉलेटाइल सिचुएशन, ऑल दिस थिंग्स दैट यू जस्ट मेंशन्ड, व्हाट्स योर नेम?
Amol Suryavanshi.
Amol, what you all mentioned is going to enable predictability, and once we put all this thing together, the farmers is going to truly benefit out of it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Kudos to you and your organization for the amazing work that you have been doing.
God bless.